Hey guys, Sinengi here with CollectionDX, and we'll be looking at the Fans Toys Soar today from their Iron D-Bots line. This is their masterpiece representation of the G1 Soar, and he stands about 10 inches tall or so. As you can see, standing next to the real action hero Mikasa, he's about like an inch and a half or 2 inches shorter, but still pretty large for a masterpiece. The figure comes with a couple accessories. You have your basic instruction manual with just photos showing you how to transform it in Chinese and English. You have a little card with a little bio on the back as well as stats and stuff. Then he comes with two of these missiles slash blasters which look a lot like the original G1 version, and you can either attach them to the back of the wings, or you can pull out a little handle and just attach it and put it in his hand. He also comes with his sword, which has translucent red plastic, and it takes two little batteries. I think they're like LR66, and if you press the little button they light up. So if you turn off the lights, you can see how it's pretty bright when you turn it on and off. So also included is this really nice big stand, which has one single joint right here. There's no locking mechanism, but it is pretty tight, so you don't really have to worry about anything falling over. And you can just attach Swoop on the underside, where he has a circle and a little rectangle tab that you can plug into. So as you can see, he can stand no problem like this. So Fan Toys also gives you an extra set of wings. I actually replaced them already, but the default set are these chrome ones, and the alternate are just metallic silver ones that are already on him. I took these off immediately because I have really sweaty hands and I'm always scared of the chrome corroding over time. So they're just the exact same set, was all the same articulation, and you just have to remove 3 screws on the back and then just plug it into a hole right here, and they go on really easily. There's also this translucent beak, which I believe is so you can have a more Diaclone accurate version of Swoop instead of the cartoon version that this one is. So taking a look at Soar itself, it's a really nice and heavy figure. It weighs about 1.5 pounds, and you have die cast in the lower legs, the chest, and the shoulders. Each finger is individually articulated on the hand, so you can have them do all sorts of silly poses and such. And it's got really good articulation, but it doesn't even look like it. You can lift the arms all the way up. You can also have him kneel really easily. I think he has waist articulation, but the beak will get in the way, so you have to lift it up if you wanted to turn him. But the waist is so tight on mine that I couldn't turn it even after loosening the screws, so you have to look at someone else's pictures for that. The wings are also fully articulated, and you can open them up if you want and just adjust them for however you want them to look like. If you want to put them back, or just have them open like this, or just open them all the way if you'd like. One thing to note is that although there aren't any fitting issues, a lot of the screws are either too loose or too tight, and you kind of have to adjust a lot of them. Like on mine, the arm, it's right here, it used to be really tight, so I had to loosen the shoulders, or else I couldn't get them back out when I pushed them in. The ankles on mine are also kind of loose, and I had to tighten them, and I had to loosen part of the arm. But one thing I've heard other people have problems is that the shoulder here is made of metal, and it's like just a bit too tight for the shoulder socket. So when you turn it, you have this horrible squeaking sound. And I've heard that you can put some silicone jelly or some kind of non-corroding lubricant in here, and it'll reduce the sound. But it is pretty annoying, and I don't think there's any other way to fix it unless they retooled the shoulders so that they were just slightly smaller and they wouldn't rub against the plastic so much. So you can also flip to an alternate face on Soar by lifting the face up. And unfortunately, my lens doesn't focus that close, so just press this. You can just fold that out and then twist this. And this was actually also really tight initially too, and I had to loosen it a bit or else I couldn't have swapped the faces at all. And then his alternate is this kind of grinning face. So to start the transformation from robot to pterodactyl mode, you flip up the beak, and then this is one of the more annoying parts if you have short fingernails, but there's these two little tabs in here that you have to pull out. I can never do it properly with my own hands, so I just use the sword to pop them out really quick. That way you can just close them up really easily. And then there's a hole on either side of his head so that these tabs can lock in. And if you want, you can use this as some kind of Birdman mode, which I really like how he looks. To transform the arms, you have to make sure that you close the hands properly. So you make sure the thumb is collapsed, and then you close each of these fingers. After that, you just open the panel on the arm back here, which is actually really tight and can be a pain in the ass. And just fold the fist in. Then you do the same thing for the other hand. Make sure all the fingers are aligned properly and that they close on the thumb so it doesn't get in the way. And then open the back panel and just fold them in. Afterwards, you have to collapse the forearm. So you have to make sure that they rotate this way first on each side, and then you just push them in like that. Same with this side. To transform the chest, you make sure that the head is lifted all the way up, and then you lift these front chest plates up like that, and then you can just slide them and close them up. So then when they're almost closed like that, you can just push on either side of the chest and close them all the way. This way you have it transformed like that already. The legs are probably the most annoying part to transform, as you have these little locks here by the pterodactyl feet. And there's one on each side, so there's 4 that you have to pop out, which you need fingernails for. It can be kind of difficult. And then pop this one and this one. And then you have these little gold tabs here, and if they're kind of stuck in, they can be really hard to get out, and they're also made of plastic. So I'm always worried that these will snap eventually, which seems kind of likely. So you have one on each leg. This way, fold these back, and here you can see what will become the pterodactyl feet. Was the feet, you just make sure the back are folded back in like this, and then you open the covers and then simply slide them in pretty easily. You can also pull out the little pterodactyl tail, and then when you're folding up the legs, since it's got all these multi-joints here, you want to make sure that you fold it along this joint and not this one. So you can mistakenly do it like that and it won't fold up properly. So you want to lift this part up like that, and then there's a tab here which will tab into the back. And you do it with each leg. Make sure that they're properly folded up. And then they should go in quite easily. this. So now they're tightly secured like this. And if you want, you can actually just keep the legs like this, and you have a very G1 looking pterodactyl mode. I actually kind of prefer how it looks like this compared to the official transformation. But if you want, you can stop at this and get a pretty good looking G1 pterodactyl. The official way to transform the legs is actually to pull these out. You'll see that each leg has this little flap on the back where you're supposed to fold down, and then they're kind of double hinged, so you can just push them into the hollow part of the leg, and then you get your more traditional looking pterodactyl legs. And it can stand like this, but personally I prefer the G1 looking stumpy legs. And then you can finally attach it to the stand if you want for a flying pose, like this. So you have your fully articulated wings, the head can move around, and you can open up the beak if you want. So there you have it, Fans Toys Soar. This definitely lives up to the name of masterpiece. It's really nice and heavy. I like that everything fits in nicely, and I don't have any like fit issues compared to like Optimus Prime's legs on MP10, or how Sideswipe can't hold his guns properly. It's pretty expensive at $200, but I mean, compared to, it's pretty much the size of like a Hot Toys Iron Man. It's heavier and it's about the same price. So I mean, if you're willing to spend $200 on a 1/6 figure, you should definitely check these out. I'd like to thank ToySource for providing the sample, and thanks for watching.